Hey, Kevin Douglas here, playing the fourth round of a Burn League. We are 3-0. We're gonna mulligan this hand. Turn one, suspend Rift Bolt. Turn two, play Eidolon. Is a good start, but it's not. We have nothing to back it up with, and just a bunch of lands. So I think it's pretty slow. Against the right kind of deck, maybe it's fine, but I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan here. This looks fine. Turn one, Goblin Guide, 2 land, a couple of good cards. Put a Rift Bolt on top. Go ahead and F6. So looks like a Bloodstained Mire. Go ahead and fetch up a Sacred Foundry. And a Goblin Guide. Looks like that might get Fatal Pushed or bolted. Nope. They just decided to bring a Shock Land and play tapped. It's like Tormenting Voice. So maybe Dredge here? Or it might be one of those cheating guys in with Goryo's Vengeance kind of decks. Yeah, so this is Grizzlebrand. Looks like bad for us, possibly. Although the good thing about Goryo's Vengeance is that it does have to get exiled, so while it gains 7 life, sometimes if they don't have anything to kind of back up that initial play, it's sometimes not enough. And we can hold up the Skullcrack here, so I don't think there's any reason to rush out this Rift Bolt just yet. We did just see Emrakul. So that would be a worse Goryo's than the Grizzlebrand, because right now we have the Skullcrack. If they decide to try to Goryo's Vengeance into play, then we can prevent the life gain. Whereas with Grizzlebrand, we're going to be down 15 life and left without any permanents. They're going to Faithless Looting. Probably won't see the Emrakul discarded. They did discard a Through the Breach, so maybe they're a little light on mana. There's an Insolent Neonate. And they did, in fact, miss a land drop. So we're going to go ahead and fetch here for... I think we can safely fetch for a mountain. Alright, so there's an Inspiring Advantage. That was a great draw. It's going to let us suspend this Rift Bolt. I'll still leaving Skullcrack mana up. I'm tempted to not attack in here just because the Insolent Neonate's just going to block it. I think they're going to want to draw a card anyway just to find out of the land, so I'd rather not draw them a land with the trigger. So we have 4 spells. One of them's on suspend right now. That total 12 damage. So we have lethal. Drawing a land next hand or next draw step would give us the mana for lethal. So what I want to do is just kind of slow him down a little bit. Like I said, I don't think we need to get in with the Goblin Guide. they don't get a necessarily, you know, to draw that card with Instant Neonate right away. They might choose to just sacrifice it here if they didn't get a land off of this draw. But there's no need to risk, I think, that Goblin Guide going in and giving them a trigger and potentially drawing them a card that they, you know, just gives them one extra resource. So the one thing I'm thinking about is I'm trying to remember Nourishing Shoal, whether that's an instant or not. They didn't go for it when I fetched last turn. If they had a Nourishing Shoal with whatever that huge worm is, I think they would have gone. I think World Spire Worm maybe. They would have gone for it last turn. So I think I'm safe to continue to tap out for Lightning Helix here. So Rift Bolt, off suspend. There's a Searing Blaze. We're obviously not going to cast that. What I will do is Lava Spike. And I could Skullcrack here. I feel like the fact that they did not... They haven't gained life at any point here tells me it's probably safe. So I'm just going to go for it. So there's an Obdazat. So unfortunately that does put them... Definitely can't attack. Beginning of your end step, you may exile. If you do, return it at the beginning of your next upkeep. So they're gonna have to exile that. They don't have Through the Breach mana. If they have another Goryo's Vengeance, then they're gonna be able to Grizzlebrand. So it's possible that I'm trying to think if depending on what we draw next turn. If it was one CMC burn spell, then we could have done that. It would have forced them into Gorios, and then we would have Skullcracked. But if we didn't draw one CMC spell, so they are going to hit us with Grizzlebrand, gain 7 life. So yeah, I don't know if there was a way that we probably could have played around that. But I think depending on what our draw was, and the fact that we may have been limited on mana, we may have just given them additional turns to draw stuff. I think until we were able to fire off 2 spells at once, then we still would not have gotten past that. So they're going to keep themselves at 9 life. Didn't draw any cards. We'll suspend the Rift Bolt. I think now I am going to start attacking in with the Goblin Guide. Kind of a bummer. I guess I could have been doing that for a while. There's another Grizzlebrand. So may have made some misplays in this matchup so far. Maybe I should have been attacking in with the Goblin Guide a while ago. I guess I would have had like 2 extra attacks by now. Like I said though, the fact they're stuck on mana is good for us. We can play a little bit of a longer game because our top decks are generally very good. decks are generally very good. We don't really have a good target for the Searing Blaze now, so that's a bit of a bummer. Maybe we wanted them to keep that Neonate around just in case it turned on our Searing Blaze. So they did find their third mana source. They're up to 3 mana. 5 is the magic number for Through the Breach. So we might still have a couple turns. There's 2 mana, Tormenting Voice, discard a Grizzlebrand. So I think a fetch land would be really good here. Another Rift Bolt. So I think we attack in. Looks like a Bloodstained Mire. Let's put them up to 4 mana. We could Rift Bolt here to turn off their fetch lands. And I kind of like that. I mean, they might have another Gorios Vengeance, in which case they're going to be able to Grizzlebrand again. So I'm not sure why they would even play out the Bloodstained Mire. I mean, unless they, I guess, it makes sense if they're going to be able to eventually gain life through a Gorios Vengeance to Grizzlebrand. Because then they're not like really missing land drops. I'm going to Searing Blaze here. I don't think they can do anything. Awesome. So that one was a little hairy. Like I said, maybe a couple sequencing mistakes on my part. Not totally sure. Definitely want to bring in Rest in Peace. And I think Deflecting Palm. Path to Exile. Take out. I mean, Eidolon is actually kind of interesting because all of the support pieces they have to the combo deal them damage, and so if we're able to get one down and they have to keep on digging and doing stuff to try to assemble everything, Eidolon just kind of is just a really good recurring source of damage. I think we take out the Searing Blazes, honestly. It's not really great against Neonates. We have to find room for 2 more cards here. We did increase our curve a little bit with those Rest in Pieces. We did take out some of those 2 CMC spells. Definitely want Skull Cracks. If I take out Lava Spike, it's like the least interactive. We don't really want to be interactive, really. I think I'm going to take out some Lightning Helix. We added in 4 white spells, so actually 6 white spells, so I think taking out some spells that compete with that colored mana might be right. And generally, if they're, you know, Through the Breaching or Gorios Vengeancing Grizzlebrand or Emrakul, I think we kind of lost anyway. So I don't necessarily know that our life total, you know, gaining that 3 life is as important. We're going to be on the draw here. So this hand has 2 lands, Swiss Spear, some spells. Does not have the silver bullets that we're looking for, but it does have a pretty quick start. I think I'm going to keep it. Our opponent did mulligan down to 5. Kept that hand. And then put a card on bottom. So all of that seems pretty good for us. And the fact that they're going Blood Crypt tapped also seems very good. There's a Skullcrack that we can hold on for later. I'm going to go ahead and go with Stomping Ground because I wouldn't mind finding another land. So I don't want to thin too much by playing this Bloodstained Mire. And depending on what we draw next turn, it looks like we'll probably go Monastery Swift Spear, Suspend Riftbolt. And I'm kind of glad that my creature isn't a Goblin Guide here. So there's a Pentad Prism, so that could be rough if they have Through the Breach. So I might want to hold up Skullcrack for a Grizzlebrand potentially. So I'm going to leave Bloodstained Mire up. I think I'm just going to attack here. We do miss out on a little bit of damage from the Monastery Swift Spear, and the timing for the Rift Bolt's a little off, but don't really want to get blown out here by an Emrakul, or by a Grizzlebrand. Emrakul doesn't really matter. There's not much we can do about that anyway. Yeah, so there's 5 mana, so let's hope their Through the Breach target is a Grizzlebrand. So they decided to go Neonate. We're going to go Emrakul. Dorio's Vengeance. I think I could just Lightning Bolt here, not fetch, so that we have a better chance of finding mana. And then just hope that they just draw really poorly. They're down to 1 card. If we can string a bunch of land draws together, then we could sneak out this win. So I'm going to go ahead and fetch up a mountain. And go Swift Spear. And then what we really want to see are some inspiring advantages. Go ahead and F6 here. They have 2 cards. Unfortunately, they have a lot of cards like Faithless Looting and you know, some of those cards that help them dig through their deck. There's a Through the Breach for a Simian Spirit Guide. Wow, so yeah, they just had the nuts there. Really not much we can do there. So, good games. You know, I don't think we could have played that one any different. Besides maybe mulliganing into like one of our silver bullet cards. There's Deflecting Palm, Eidolon. This hand looks great. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. 3 mana. And hopefully we get them down to 15 and Deflecting Palm and Emrakul. That would be like the best way to end this match, I think. So I like seeing this amount of mana because hopefully if we get to 4 mana, we're going to be able to leave up this Deflecting Palm. The thing is, they're so fast that after getting this Monastery Swift Spear down, I mean, if they're able to find a discard outlet turn 1, it's possible they could go turn 2 Emrakul. So the opponent did mulligan down to 6. If they don't do anything this turn, probably play Eidolon. But even then, I mean, they could still Simian Spirit Guide like a Neonate into play, sack Goryo's Vengeance, like a discarded Emrakul. So I think I just play it safe here. I think I play a land, hold up Boros Charm. The Eidolon, see, the Eidolon could be greedy. I don't think we need Eidolon to win right now. So there is Obsidat. If they get that into play, I mean, they'll just gain 2 life. So the decision here is, do I run out Eidolon? It's a little bit greedy. They could find some way to discard like an Emrakul and Goryo's Vengeance it. I don't think I'm in a huge hurry. I mean, Deflecting Palm and anything they put in, I think is going to be good enough by just attacking it with Swift Spear. So I think there's no need to be super greedy. There's a Neonate. They missed a land drop. They're gonna draw, I think, yeah, so there's a beside you. We'll go ahead and Boros Charm. Then this next turn, Lava Spike and get in there with the Swift Spear. So the opponent had to decide last turn whether they wanted to keep that Neonate to block or try to not miss a land drop. I think they were smart in getting that land down. So they don't have anything we'd really like to Deflecting Palm here. We could Skullcrack if they try to do anything with that Obsidat. It looks like they're just going to pass the turn. I could Skullcrack here. I'm trying to think of what instant speed life gain they have. If it's just like a Gnaw the Bone, they're going to gain 4 life. I'll deal them 3. It's a little bit of a wash. I don't think I need to hold it because I've got the deflecting palm. Yeah, so there's an Obdizat. I think wasting a Goryo's Vengeance on that is fine for us. All they're going to do is gain... Well, it is that recurring... So actually, the fact that they did that on their turn, I think they're going to get to exile it before... Alright, so Rest in Peace is excellent here. They don't have any way to... So let me make sure I understand this card. So at the beginning of their end step, they may exile. If they do, return it to the battlefield at the beginning of their next upkeep. So it can't be a blocker if they do that. Gonna gain haste. That's a 5/5. I think we go Rest in Peace here. I don't think I need to hold up Deflecting Palm, though they might want to start beating in, and that would be a good use. The thing is, do we even need Rest in Peace right now? If we Eidolon... I think I Rest in Peace now. Yeah, so it wasn't asking them for the trigger there. So let me see here. At the beginning of your end step, you may exile Obdizat. Strange. Yeah, so not sure. I guess that would just file for reimbursement then. Yeah, so definitely don't want to attack in. But it looks like maybe because they Goryo's Vengeance Obdizat in, maybe the programming is a little bit goofy where it's not looking for that trigger now. Not totally sure. It seems kind of strange. I mean, yeah, so played the Rest in Peace. Basically shuts off any of their Reanimator strategies. And now Goryo's Vengeance is going to exile that Obdizat. So it's a little bit unfortunate for them. Honestly, I don't know they would have won this anyway. Maybe if they just do something totally crazy this turn. But we had them locked out pretty well, I think, with, you know, if we got to untap with that Deflecting Palm, between Deflecting Palm and Rest in Peace, I don't see any way that they could have beat us, even with the Obdizat. So we're just going to draw into some burn eventually and finish it off. So, all right, I think that was a pretty good match. I don't know, it's a little bit scary. I feel like as burn, there's a lot of stuff to worry about, like, you know, obviously Grizzlebrand gains life, you know, 7 damage is at least 2 of our cards, if not 3. So that puts us several turns behind. And in Emrakul, if we have to sack all of our permanents, you know, just running 19 land, it can, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to cast anything after that. Even if they don't finish you off with that, they're going to buy themselves a lot of time to probably finish it off. So, feel pretty happy to win that one.